Hello everyone, this is your meditation teacher Chelsea. I hope this finds you well and staying safe and as healthy as possible. It seems that every time I talk to you, the scary and difficult situation around us has escalated. It is clear that with each passing day, we become more mired in confusion and division, and we can't even find a way through a pandemic without falling into hateful rhetoric. Instead of focusing on the safety of ourselves and others, people are distracted by their own personal indulgences and discomfort, and that makes the world a very frightening and uncomfortable place to be right now. Meditation is a way to center yourself, to return to your natural state of being, which is a state of peace and equanimity, a place free of duality. And that is one of the things I want to talk to you about today, the world of duality. The plane of existence that all of us humans share is a world of duality. For every up there is a down, every dark has light, for every gleeful moment there is a moment of pain. And that is what duality means. This world of opposites is always so closely tied to each other. It's really two sides of the same coin. Have you ever heard that phrase, the opposite of love is indifference, not hate? That is because, as two strong emotions, love and hate are just two sides of the same coin. And that coin is the world of duality that we all share, and we all agree on the parameters. This is the wheel of samsara that sentient beings are condemned to traverse, circling up and down and around for all eternity, like a Ferris wheel that never ends. But there is a way off of that wheel, a way to let go of the unending roller coaster of duality. And that way is meditation. Meditation is a state that is outside the world of duality. It is neither one or the other. It is a place of total openness and awareness that sits poised at the crossroads of the universe. From this enlightened state, you are able to gaze all around and see in 360 degrees and evaluate that in all directions, every dual choice you can make to gain something or lose something is simply taking you away from this state of grace and balance. You can never gain or lose something in meditation. You simply are. You simply be. The universe is. The soul is. The blessing is. Now, forever, yesterday and tomorrow, the present moment and eternity all at once. It is a glimpse into the divine and all-encompassing oversoul of the world, the divinity that exists inside each one of us and is part of something greater and more profound than our own individual selves. There is no fear of loss or pain, no hope of gain or progress, no rejection, no judgment, no attachment. You are sitting in a space outside of these things that govern the normalcy of our lives. It might seem alien or impossible to you to lose the trappings of your personality and all of your individual likes, dislikes, attitudes, and opinions, but actually it is freeing. It is returning to the state deep inside of yourself, the same state at the heart of the silence, the resonant light of all creation, the place you were before knowing, and the place of freedom you will always be. People are made up of 4 distinct parts. There is the body that responds to physical stimuli, that needs to eat and drink and sleep and procreate, and it's caught up in the lusts and greeds and longings of our material world. This is a physical manifestation of your karma, and so many of our traps and addictions come from the body, whether it be drugs or food or any sensation that you happen to crave. Most of the time, your body is simply seeking to fill itself, and it doesn't have the judgment to distinguish between what is needed and what is merely wanted. Another part of you is the brain. That's a perfect computer that processes and analyzes data ceaselessly from the second you're born. But remember, although the brain is a great calculator, it is not a perfect instrument. It will answer whatever question you ask it, whether or not that question has intrinsic truth. If you ask your brain the question, "Why do these terrible things always happen to me?" your brain will answer that exact question, and it will find any answer that works. So it might tell you, because you deserve it, because you are not worthy of better things. So be very careful of how you ask things to your brain. Instead of asking, "Why me?" you can ask, "How can I learn from this?" Or "How can I use my painful experiences to help others?" Or any number of questions that your brain can answer that will actually send you in a direction toward greater freedom and clarity. As you can see, these first two parts of a person, your body and your brain, are not really systems that you can fully trust. And yet most people rely on their signals as the only truth they have. The third part of a person is their personality, and this is just as moored in subjectivity as the other two parts. Your personality, what you consider to be the unique manifestation of who you are, is actually just a conglomeration of everything you've ever heard or compiled or noticed or were told by others throughout your life. Pretty much everything you ever absorbed from the time people stood over your crib and talked to you got all jumbled up into a hard mass that you wear and call your personality. Most of it doesn't even come from you, but it's some energetic lineage from your family from long ago. For example, you may think you're not really musical and you don't enjoy music, and that's one of your distinctive traits. But what you don't remember is that long ago, one day when you were maybe 5 years old and happily singing, someone told you to be quiet. Your voice was too loud. And you internalized that, and as a child you felt your voice wasn't beautiful, and so you stopped singing. And little do you realize it is simply turned into the part of your personality that thinks it's unmusical. You can't even see that that was a choice someone else made for you that you now claim as part of your own personhood. So you can see that these three parts of a person that we believe so strongly to be who we are just created and curated streams of energy, often from other people, from hardened attitudes and opinions about what we like or don't like, what we can do or what we aren't capable of. And this is hardly the way we would want to live if we could see it, but we're all trapped into believing that that is who we are, our body, our brain, and our personality. But the fourth part of a person, well, it's not even really a part really, but it's the essential nature of a person, is the soul. You can call it whatever you like. It doesn't have to be religious or non-religious. You can call it the soul or the spirit or the essence or the nature or the energy, but whatever you call it, it comes down to that the soul is the real part of ourselves, the truest being that is the same as and connected to every other being in existence. And your soul knows beyond itself. It knows the beginning, middle, and end of everything. It knows the ringing of infinite silence and the music of the spheres, the light inside of peace. When you are in the meditative state, the soul gets to drive the ship for once, which hardly ever happens. The other superficial parts of a person fall away, and at last the soul can emerge into its native power. And what do you feel then when you are meditating and one with soul? Well, usually people feel peaceful or clear or energized or relaxed. People beginning to meditate usually sleep better. They can feel tension leave their body. They let go of stress, headaches, or anxiety or whatever plagues them. You know, it's strange that something that you can so readily feel is beneficial for every part of you is something that most people have a hard time making themselves do. But when you are in the meditative state, you are allowing soul to come forth and even to heal all the other parts of you so that you can shine forth as a light for others and help the greater world as well as yourself. So you can see why it is so important to make a practice of meditation, to make it a priority, to put it into a divine place in your life and dedicate your time and energy to it. How else can you heal yourself from the inside out and put forth that beautiful energy into our planet that is so, so desperately in need of healing right now and in so many ways? So, with that being said, let us go into meditation. In this class, we focus on the breath. We breathe in, we breathe out, and nothing else. It sounds quite simple, but something simple is not necessarily easy. You should find a comfortable place to sit. On a cushion or on a chair is fine. Sit in any way that you will be able to stay still and comfortable and not have to constantly shift position. You should try and do this for at least 15 minutes each day, but longer is better if you can. You should have some awareness on your crown chakra at the very tip of your head and on your third eye, which is right above and between your eyebrows. If you were to gently scratch the skin there without hurting yourself, just to feel a lingering sensation, that is what I mean. And begin to breathe in and breathe out, feeling your body in the cycle of breath, noting your lungs filling and deflating, feeling the infinite space between the inhale and the exhale, completely immersed in your breath. And if your body or your brain or your personality starts to object and says, oh, this is boring or painful, or my nose itches, or what am I going to eat for dinner when this is finally over? You simply return your attention to your breath. Remember that your soul is in charge now, and your soul chooses to concentrate on the breath. And so that is what you are going to do. You are going to continue to choose your focus. That is what meditation is. It is simply sustained choice. And in choosing, and in that commitment, is great power. I am excited for you to explore the infinite loveliness that awaits you as you continue to focus on your breath, as you move deeper and deeper into the meditative state. The meditative state is a rich realm that goes on forever and has no end, and will lead you to greater peace and beauty in your life and the lives of all those around you. May the blessings be.